Alright, I'll admit it, I was dead wrong about these guys. Early in the offseason, I wanted nothing to do with them. Either the situation was messy, the role unclear, or I just wasn't buying the hype. But now, I've completely flipped. These aren't just backs I've warmed up to, these are backs I'm actively targeting in every draft. Late round values, handcuffs with juice, or potential RB1s that I flat out whiffed on at first. So buckle up, because I'm about to walk you through 5 running backs I was 100% wrong on, but now, I'm all in on. Alright, let's talk about a rookie I was really on the fence about until something absolutely wild happened. Omarion Hampton. Now when the Chargers drafted him, I was excited, but cautiously so. Why? Because Najee Harris was standing in the way. And love him or hate him in fantasy, Najee is a rock. He's reliable, rarely misses time, and has been the kind of back coaches trust even when his yards per carry look like a stock market crash. So naturally, I figured Hampton might have to wait a bit, maybe get sprinkled in mid-season, or wait for a potential injury. I was expecting the usual rookie timeline, but then Najee Harris had a fireworks accident on the 4th of July. Yes, that actually happened. Now his agent did come out and say he'll be ready for the season, which sounds reassuring until you realize what he didn't say. He didn't say Najee will be ready for the start of training camp. And that, my friends, is the window. Because rookie running backs need camp reps. They need to be out there getting real snaps with the starters, learning protections, building chemistry with the offense, and maybe most importantly, earning the coach's trust. If Najee misses significant time in camp, Omarion Hampton becomes the guy taking those reps. That means by the time week 1 rolls around, this might not even be a committee. It might just be Hampton's job. And let's be clear, Hampton is not some random day 3 dart throw. He's a 221-pound beast who ran a 4.46 40. That's size and speed you just don't see every day. He had a 90th percentile college dominator rating and an 85th percentile target share, which tells us 2 things. Number 1, he can handle a massive workload, and number 2, he can catch passes. So yeah, we're talking true 3-down upside here. Now look, I'm not saying Najee's season is over, but even if he does make it back by week 1, he'll be behind the curve. He'll be coming off an awkward freak injury with limited camp reps, and that opens the door for Hampton to be more than just a rotational piece. It's not hard to imagine a scenario where Hampton gets a hot hand early and just never lets go of it. Remember, the Chargers traded up in the first round to get him. That's not something you do for a backup. That's a face of the backfield move. They may not have planned on starting him right away, but this Najee situation might force their hand. And if it does, Hampton has legitimate RB1 upside from week 1. He's now one of the highest upside rookie picks in drafts, and I'm making it a priority to get him. Whether Najee just opens the door for camp or allows him to take over in week 1, Hampton has a chance to break fantasy football in 2025, and I'm drafting him everywhere. All right, let me walk you through a guy I pretty much dismissed when he signed, and now I'm kicking myself for it, Jordan Mason. When he landed with the Vikings, I barely blinked. I mean, sure, he looked solid in San Francisco last year, but that was in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and it all came when CMC was off the field. Now he's going to be backing up Aaron Jones on a team that's not exactly pounding the rock every series. But here's the thing, I may have been completely wrong on this one. Because now, the word out of camp is that Jordan Mason is expected to be the goal line back. And look, we all know touchdowns are the cheat code for running backs in fantasy. 1-yard plunge, boom, 6 points. It's not always pretty, but it's bankable. And when you hear that Mason might own the goal line role, you suddenly have to ask, what was Aaron Jones doing down there last year? Let me tell you, nothing good. Jones had 13 carries inside the 5-yard line last year for -2 yards. Yes, you heard that right, -2 yards. Not only that, he also lost a fumble in that range. Basically, every time he touched the ball near the goal line, the offense took a step back. The Vikings desperately need someone more reliable down there, and Mason, he might be the answer. But it's not just the touchdowns. That's the sexy part, yeah, but touchdowns alone don't make a guy a weekly starter. You need touches, volume, a real role, and here's where it starts to get really interesting. Aaron Jones just logged 306 touches last season at age 30, which, let's be honest, is a red flag. And yes, he held up surprisingly well, but now he's entering his age 31 season, and he's got a younger, fresher back breathing down his neck. One who, by the way, ranks better than Jones in many key metrics. Last year, Mason ranked 5th in explosive run rate, Jones just 22nd. Mason was also 11th in yards after contact per rush among all running backs with at least 100 carries. Oh, and he did that while facing the 2nd highest stacked box percentage in the entire NFL last year. This dude was producing even in tough conditions. He wasn't just a Shanahan product, he was earning his yards. And now we've got reports that he could handle goal line duties and potentially start eating into early down work too. That's not a role player, that's a back who can end up with 50+% of the carries and all the high value touches near the goal line. Yet somehow, he still goes after Aaron Jones in drafts. At first, that made sense to me. Mason was a backup. But now, if I'm projecting forward, age, usage, camp buzz, role clarity, Mason might be the back to own in Minnesota. I am officially all aboard the Jordan Mason train in 2025, and I don't think I'm getting off anytime soon. Okay, this one totally caught me off guard. For most of the offseason, I was completely out on J.K. Dobbins. No team, no clarity, no thanks. Meanwhile, I was loading up on R.J. Harvey, especially after he landed in Denver. It looked like a perfect rookie sleeper setup. But then, the Broncos signed Dobbins, and I've got to be honest, that move has flipped everything for me. Now, I'm still occasionally taking Harvey, but I'm drafting J.K. Dobbins almost every single time he's on the board. And here's why. We're talking about a proven, productive back. Dobbins isn't just some washed-up vet. He has a career 5.2 yards per carry, and even after another injury last year, he still rattled off over 900 yards and 9 touchdowns in 13 games. Oh, and he ranks 7th in explosive run rate. The juice was still very much there last year. Now he lands in Denver with Sean Payton, and this could be a smash spot. Let's not pretend Payton is eager to hand the keys to a rookie. This is the same guy who stuck with Mark Ingram even when Alvin Kamara was lighting the world on fire. Just last year, he kept feeding Javonte Williams even when the fan base was begging for literally anyone else. So while we all want RJ Harvey to pop, and don't get me wrong, I love the talent, history tells us Payton is going to lean on his vets, especially one like Dobbins, who's got a full feature-back resume and knows how to grind out tough yards. And here's the crazy part. Dobbins goes 70 picks after RJ Harvey. That's not just value, that's a steal. Yes, there's injury risk. Dobbins has a history. He's missed time, but that's baked into the price. But think about it. Even if you just get what he did last year, that's a fantasy smash from where he's being drafted. And if he stays fully healthy, if he actually takes over this backfield, you're looking at a guy who could be a league winner at a double-digit round price. So yeah, early in the offseason, I wasn't touching him. But now, I am all in on J.K. Dobbins for 2025. Okay, it's a little unfair to say I was 100% wrong on Dylan Sampson because I loved him as a prospect. I just hated that he landed with the Cleveland Browns after they had already drafted Quinshon Judkins in round 2. So he went from a guy I thought could be a starter to just a handcuff. But now I am all in on him being a starter, not just in real life, but for your fantasy team because things in Cleveland just got really messy. If you haven't heard, Quinshon Judkins is in major legal trouble. Over the weekend, he was arrested for battery and domestic violence charges, and it's not looking like something that's going to go away quietly. According to the police report, the victim alleges Judkins punched her in the mouth with a closed fist and also hit her on the arms and thighs, and she has the pictures to prove it. Not only that, she's pressing charges. No matter how this plays out legally, there is a real risk that Judkins gets put on the NFL exempt list and misses all or most of training camp. And that would change everything for the Browns backfield because now Dylan Sampson is positioned to get all those rookie reps. And if you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 10 times. Rookie reps in camp are everything. That's where you build chemistry, earn the coach's trust, and carve out your role. But here's the thing. The Judkins situation could somehow get even worse. He still hasn't even signed his rookie contract. So technically, he can't report to camp at all right now. You think the Browns are in a hurry to lock him in while this is all hanging over him? Me neither. That gives Sampson a wide open runway. And here's what's crazy. I already liked Sampson before any of this happened. The talent is legit. 84th percentile dominator rating, 57th percentile target share, nearly 1,500 rushing yards on 5.7 yards per carry against SEC defenses. He can run between the tackles, he can catch passes, and he profiles very similarly to Tyjae Spears, who we've already seen thrive when thrown into a lead role. So now let's talk upside. If Judkins misses time, either from suspension or just not being signed, Sampson could immediately carve out a major role in this offense. And yeah, I get it. The Browns' offense this year might be rough. We're talking bottom tier game scripts and probably not a ton of red zone visits. But unlike Judkins, who's a game script dependent grinder, Sampson is more versatile. His receiving chops could keep him on the field even in negative scripts. He's not just a guy who needs 20 carries to matter. I have been treating him as just a handcuff, but now I'm drafting him like a low-end RB2. So when I'm in those late double-digit rounds and I see Dylan Sampson on the board, I click draft, I move on. All right, let's get real deep here because nobody's talking about this guy, but they absolutely should be. I'm talking about Taj Brooks. When the Bengals drafted him this year, I didn't even really blink. Seriously, at first glance, he looked like just another body behind Chase Brown. And I'm not here to lie to you, he's not a threat to Chase Brown. But here's the kicker, no one else is a threat to Taj Brooks either. Yes, Zach Moss is still on the roster, but the Bengals coaching staff has barely even said his name this offseason. He came back on a near minimum deal, which says a lot about where he stands in the pecking order. And in case you missed it, they also added Samaje Perine. He's now 30 years old, and he's had 100 carries just once in his entire career. He's just a passing down situational guy, and even then, he hasn't been particularly efficient in that role. So what we're looking at here is a super clear depth chart. Chase Brown is the starter, Taj Brooks is the handcuff, and after that, basically dust. And look, I'm expecting big things from Chase Brown. I've been driving that bandwagon all offseason. But let's not forget, Brown isn't built like a workhorse. He's smaller, more explosive, and not exactly built for 300 plus touches. Last year he missed time, and if that happens again, I fully expect the Bengals to lean on Taj Brooks. And here's the other thing, Brooks is built for it. He's 214 pounds, had a 73rd percentile dominator rating, 62nd percentile target share, and 280 or more carries in back-to-back seasons. And over his last 22 college games, he ran for 100 plus yards in 19 of them. That's not just some college grinder, that's a guy who's shown he can be a full-on workhorse running back for any team. No, he doesn't have Brown's explosiveness, but what he does have is durability, versatility, and a path to meaningful fantasy relevance if Chase Brown misses time. He's the exact type of underrated handcuff you want to stash in redraft leagues or grab in the last round of best ball. And if disaster strikes, he's stepping into a potential 20-touch role in one of the league's best offenses. So yes, I'm all in on Chase Brown this year, but I'm also quietly loading up on Taj Brooks because if Chase Brown does go down with injury, I think Taj Brooks is ready to carry your fantasy team to a championship. And while drafting the right running backs is important for your team winning a fantasy championship, you need way more than that, but don't worry, we got you covered. In our 2025 playlist, you can find all the videos to help you dominate your draft right here.